What if the Cubs players actually know that Cody Bellinger is coming back? Let's go.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being a part of the show and making Locked On Cubs your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. Let us know in the comment section, do you think Cody Bellinger signs with the Cubs? Today's episode is presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. We are 8 days until pitchers and catchers report, 17 days until the first spring training game, and 51 days until opening day. That's right. The countdown has started, Sam. Spring is in the air here in the Chicagoland area, and we're still talking about the same things.
Yeah. I'm going to wait till you introduce the whole Bellinger topic to get into my little issue that I have with this whole situation. So I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, as we talked about on our subscription show, weather's good. Unfortunately, I'm under the weather and we had to postpone our live show for that. So please, if you haven't, if you didn't get an email yet, or you haven't checked your email, or you didn't see my tweet, this is me letting you know that Wednesday, February 7th has been postponed, and we're hoping for, and think, Matt, we're pretty confident 2/21 will get pushed back for that due to the COVID-19 virus.
So some silver lining. If you weren't scheduled to join us yet, we'll be there hopefully Wednesday the 21st. We're going to get those details out very soon at the Des Plaines Theater, and we hope Sam feels well and he's able to record this week from. Obviously, we're always from our own home, so that's kind of an advantage of podcasting. But going out live, we were not able to do that this time around. But hopefully, in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So we got good numbers.
Great numbers. Yeah, let's keep them humming. So I was looking through some quotes. I was parsing my way through the evidence, mostly Cubs convention evidence, Sam, I will admit, although that's pretty good evidence. It's accessibility to the players at least. And I think the Cubs players might be in on something. Here's what it is. They've spoken to Cody Bellinger.
Right.
They at least have his vibe, his motivations for this offseason. And this dude wants to return to Clark and Addison, and the players know it. It really is a matter of Jed Hoyer not giving an inch. Dansby Swanson said at the convention, they asked him, what are your expectations for 24? He said, before we can even think about the season, we got to bring back Belly. And we talked about that on this show. Does that actually do more harm than good? Things like that. But I think at least in their phones, as they're clicking the text messages, as they're FaceTiming, whatever they're doing, maybe even getting some swings in the cage with each other, I do think the players have a good sense of, hey, this guy wants to come back. He might even be coming back. They just have to figure out the formatics of this contract. It does seem like the players know something. What do you think about this theory?
3 things.
Okay.
Number one, I said it on the subscription show. Have to say it on here. You look outstanding. Makes me feel fresh haircut, whole thing. Makes me almost feel like I, look double as poor. Number 2, it's not just Jed Hoyer holding firm. It's also Scott Boras, right?
Of course.
Neither one of them is budging an inch. And number 3, Matthew, my thoughts on this are simple. This morning when I woke up, wasn't from the virus, wasn't from the season, but I woke up with some fatigue, and it was Bellinger fatigue. This guy, with all due
That's
respect,
fair.
with all due respect to Cody Bellinger, former MVP in 2019, which is 5 years ago now, by the way. A nice upstart season in 2023, where the 2 years prior he was borderline dreadful. With all due respect, Cody Bellinger is not worth this much discussion. He is not worth this much Sherlock Holmes investigation. Does Dansby potentially know that he's coming back? Nike released jerseys already and all this stuff. That's the type of stuff you do if you're in hot pursuit of Shohei Ohtani or Juan Soto or Ronald Acuna Jr. I get it. I want Bellinger back because I think that's the quickest path to win this division out of the options. But as I said on this show last week, I'd be fine with a Montgomery. I'd be fine with a Chapman. So my response to your comment is I really don't care that much whether Dansby Swanson knows or whatever. If they get the deal done, we'll talk about it. We're not talking about Willie Mays here. We're not talking about Mike Trout.
Wow.
It's
yes,
crazy.
I know that.
No, it's just the type of attention that this guy's getting. The only reason he's getting this much attention is because he's the only major guy left, him and Matt Chapman. Imagine us tomorrow. Matt Chapman went to Wiener Circle and ordered a hot dog with everything on it. Can you believe it? It's Matt Chapman. He's a nice player.
We're looking for clues on Instagram.
We're looking for clues and Instagrams on guys that are solid players. It's it's on Jed, it's on Bellinger, it's on Boris. Eventually, he's probably going to be a Cub. I've mentally locked him in as the opening day center fielder for about a couple of weeks now. And I think, and I think he's the Cubs' fallback option. And I think the Cubs were the fallback option for him. I think both are choosing their plan B routes. The Cubs not being able to get Ohtani and make an impact trade, and Bellinger not being able to get that major offer from, Toronto or the Yanks or the Giants.
Yeah, and I think those are the right teams that you mentioned. It does seem like there was some more agent speak over the weekend to in terms of feeding reporters.
Exhausting.
I saw the Phillies mentioned for the first time, and I almost, I guess I don't have a punchline, but
hashtag leverage play.
Yeah, it's a leverage play. And you know what, Sam? I've started to lock in Bellinger as well, more so than I thought I would. I do think that some impatience is definitely in play here, and so I do want to show you a lineup card, and this is projected against Nathan Eovaldi, the right-hander, on March 28th. Ready?
Yes.
This is with Bellinger. Happ at left, Horner at second, Bellinger in center, Suzuki in right, Swanson at short, Bush at first, Morel is the DH, Gomes catching, and again, against a righty, I have Mastro over Madrigal at third, but third base is an open door. There's the projected lineup, but again, that's with Bellinger, who is unsigned. Thoughts?
Can you take the graphic down? This is one of your better ones. That seems pretty spot on. I think third base is, like you said, will be a revolving door question mark. I wouldn't be surprised to see two other names in there. Who knows?
Right.
But yeah, no, I really like what you did with the order.
Okay.
I like that lineup overall. And I think it's a team that's going to win about 86 games. So
I think they win 6-3 on opening day with that lineup.
And
6-3 win.
I got a couple DMs on Twitter after one of our 774 shows last week.
Congrats. Yeah.
About calling this offseason a failure before it finishes.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and I think that I said on this very show,
right,
if they are not clear cut NL Central favorites heading into this campaign that this offseason would be a failure. Adding Cody Bellinger, I think, would make them the very slight favorite. But unless they added Bellinger and then did another shock move or a shock trade, they are not the clear-cut favorites. Come on, if I told you St. Louis is going to win this division, would you be shocked? So to me, that's why I'm still down on this offseason. I saw somebody tweet out, and I got to do a better job of remembering this so I could fully credit them, but it was something like 2-3 weeks before the Cubs spring training game, but most importantly, the end to just one of the most boring, overhyped off seasons in history.
Sure.
I mean, it has been the definition of a snore fest. If you thought the Grammys was bad, I mean, this off season, what a joke this has been for the game.
I know it has. When we return,
4 guys are still available that are good.
Yeah.
Great.
A lot of guys, though.
Yeah, Soler and the Giants.
I mean, a dozen. I would say upwards of a dozen. Still really, really solid players.
Ridiculous.
Coming up next, a special guest. Stay tuned. Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one car, you always find exactly what you're looking for. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. We're back here on Locked On Cubs, and we did our first live show last month now, almost pushing up against a month. It was January 10th out at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles. And again, we hope to be at the Des Plaines Theater, now a rescheduled date, February 21st, but details still to come. And at our first live show ever, it was great to meet a lot of listeners, including one Daniel, who resides in Naperville. He hosts his own show, and he really was one of our highlights of that first live show, Sam. And we wanted to bring him in and say hello and introduce him to our listeners. And later on, we're also going to be playing some trivia with him as well. Daniel, how's it going today?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. And Daniel hosts his own show. It's called A Podcast Divided, the letter A, Podcast Divided, which is a great concept because his co-host is a diehard White Sox fan. So I have not seen any shows out there like that. So I think there's something there. Daniel, how long have you been listening to this show? And just tell us a little bit about your experience in St. Charles last month.
Okay, so first of all, about when I started listening probably 2022 early, because if you think about last offseason, I was like listening every day that offseason. And I think I found you guys a little closer to the end of the season, but like you guys have grown a lot and I've just been enjoying your episodes. I mean, we've been through the Cubs being bad. And then last year, obviously, like I lived through that with you guys in a sense. And of course, it was a disappointing end, but it was still great to enjoy the highs and lows of the Cubs winning and losing with you guys every day.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice of you to say. And you practically beat Sam in trivia in St. Charles last month. You're going to get a chance to do that again later in the show. When did you first become a Cubs fan?
Not practically.
So this is actually like a weird story. I became a fan in 2018.
Okay,
so I
us
missed
about
2016. It. So I became a fan right after the Cubs were good. And before I was a fan, 15, 16, 17, NLCS every year, and one year obviously they win the World Series, and I become a fan, and they're still a good team, but it ends up not working out by the end. And then the next year, same thing. And in 2020, it's just been ever since I've been a fan, they haven't won a playoff game, and I haven't even watched a playoff game. So that's a kind of a sad thing, but I'm hopeful for 2024.
Daniel, what are you? You're 14, right?
15.
15. So you're 15. So just doing some quick math. Yeah. So when were you just too young for 16? So you just weren't in it, or what
Maybe
was
a late riser to baseball, perhaps?
Yeah. I got into baseball from a school reading program, actually. So yeah, and
cool.
I don't know. I just didn't like sports for a bit, but
okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
That's awesome. Tell me, can I ask a question, Matthew? Or
of course.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you have your own podcast,
Go Cubs,
which we talked about at the live show. How did that come about?
So in my new school that I started for high school, there's a lot of people I know a lot about baseball, and I really like talking about it. But all my friends, they really I've never been friends with someone who's been like really knowledgeable. And then I come to my new school, and I become really good friends with this guy, Andy, who's a great person. He's a great person. He's a great baseball fan. But one thing, he's a White Sox fan. So we eventually did start a podcast because I couldn't find any big Cubs fans. But yeah, we get to debate on our podcasts, which is something that you miss on most.
Sure.
So.
No, it's a huge part of it. Do you remember the advice that I gave you at the live show?
I don't think
This
so.
guy is gonna blow me out. He's gonna blow me out on trivia. He already embarrassed me at the live event. Now he's gonna embarrass me on my live show, but he can't remember my advice. My advice to you, Matt went into one of his nice soliloquies about the logistics and how to do the show, and I chimed in and interrupted, and I said, also, it's very important to not care about what people think, right? So if people like the show, because everyone remembers when they were 15 years old, you're starting to reach that peak of when I was 15, 16 years old, doing things because other people did them, right? I bet you there's not a lot of people at your school that have a baseball podcast. There might be groups of people that think it's great and they love it. And there might be groups of people that are like, wow, that's weird. Why don't you go on and hop on and play, whatever dumb video game you're going to play? And then that's what I said a curse word at the show that I can't say on here, but I said bleep them. You know what I mean? So that was my advice, but I guess it didn't really resonate, huh?
Yeah, that's good advice. Definitely. Like I do have a gaming channel, but I really like this podcast, not because like other people from my school watch, but like I just love baseball and love talking about it. So yeah.
Yeah, you're at the time of your life, man, and you have a long time to this is it. Do things, test things out, figure out what you like, figure out what you don't, and try and make something out of it.
So before we get to trivia, Daniel, what are your thoughts right now on the Cubs offseason?
So I have felt like I felt like it was like I was really angry. So I was about to say failure, but I feel like Jed has definitely shown, like you guys have said, he's looking for bargains all the way. And I don't approve of that at all. But on the other side, he has made some good signings. Like you think about Hector Neris, he was better than Josh Hader last year. And we signed him for half as much, and on a shorter deal. You don't have to worry about him getting older and performing worse. And, I feel like Jed is definitely sticking to his plan, but the only issue is you're at the point in the offseason where who's left? Like you guys were saying in the first segment, like if we don't sign Bellinger, then I mean, I do have a little stuff to say about why I'd prefer Chapman to Montgomery, but Bellinger is that only big, kind of big guy, a big bat left on the market. Like there's no one else.
So you would actually you'd rather sign Chapman or Montgomery?
Well, your guys' podcast last week got me thinking, and I looked at some stats, so I'll share them quickly. I was looking at Matt Chapman.
Take your time.
Yeah, I've got them open.
Yeah, take your time.
Fantastic.
Cody Bellinger had a 4.5-ish. I think it's not low.
Go Cubs.
Yeah. Like 4.5-ish WAR last year.
Sure.
What about
for? Go ahead.
You look at FanGraphs projection, they're thinking he's going to be mid-2s.
Right.
And
Really? I didn't know it was that low.
Because
I
people
feel
don't trust the bat to
3s.
repeat, Matthew.
I feel like he's going to be 3s, but you look at Matt Chapman, I think Bellinger will probably hit 260, 270, and Chapman like 240-ish. But that batting average will be like that gap in their player-wise. He'll bring that value defensively to the point where maybe if you sign him and Montgomery, you're actually adding a lot more value to this team, especially a team that had a really good offseason last year. I mean, offense.
Well, I think a lot of people would line up to Chapman and Montgomery.
Of course.
I don't think Jed. I think Jed's hunting around looking for like some sort of bargain store or a 2-for-1, a 3-for-1,
Dollar
buy one
General.
get one half off, Dollar General. You go to a Super Bowl party, instead of bringing out the nice plates, he's got paper. So I don't think he's looking to do something like that. But yeah, I think even in a vacuum, you could make the case just straight up Chapman or Bellinger. You can make the case that Chapman projects better, probably getting less money.
I would like to say too, like Chapman fits with the Cubs more in a sense of we're a very defensive team.
Sure.
And I feel like Dansby, for example, like 188 million, I believe. That money is not for his bat. A lot of that's for his glove. And last year, especially at the end, we needed him to hit, and he didn't. But he brought that value defensively. So I could see Jed getting Chapman from that end too. Like,
is there any other free agents that on your spreadsheet that you think the Cubs should take a look at?
I mean, like obviously Snell and Montgomery. Snell's the other pitcher, but I don't know. I don't think that he's gonna really sign with us. But
he might not sign with anybody.
Those are all like the big names, really. Like,
yeah, no, those are all the big names.
Blake Snell might get $25 million a year to pitch in Senior Cole.
All right, you ready for trivia, Daniel?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's do that next. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. This is Super Bowl week, and it's all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. You got the game, you got the food, you got the halftime show, you got the commercials. We enjoy it all, and there's so many ways for you to end this football season with a dub or 2 or 3. Not only can you bet on who will win Super Bowl 58 between the 49ers and the Chiefs, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score a touchdown, how many points will be scored, and so much more. New customers, join today, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, the official partner of the Locked On Podcast Network. We're back here on Locked On Cubs, and Daniel is our special guest here on a Tuesday episode. Thank you whenever and wherever you may be listening. And this is going to be, for this Trivia Tuesday at least, Daniel versus Sam. Okay, so I got 10 questions in front of me. Let's see how we do as we go. I do have multiple choice here. And maybe the 10th one could be used, 9th or 10th could be used to break or tie. We'll see. Okay.
I never have won a multiple choice. I don't think I lost to the Locked On MLB, and I've lost to Daniel.
All right, let's start with, I think Sam's going to bat first because Daniel's the guest. Okay. When was the first?
Makes no sense, man. The road team always hits first, bro.
Exactly.
That's all right. Go ahead.
All right, so Daniel bat first?
No, I'll go first.
All right.
I like it.
It's a challenge. When was the first night game played at Wrigley Field? June 17th, 1987, May 6th, 1988, July 7th, 1989, or August 8th, 1988?
That's funny. I think it's 88. I just don't know the fact that there's two. Boy.
I could give
I
you
know
those again, B and D.
What is it? It's May versus August, right?
Yeah, right.
I'll go August 88.
That's correct. Sam's on the board. Daniel, how many World Series titles have the Cubs won?
3.
A1, B2, C3, or D4?
3. C3.
That's correct.
He didn't even need the choices, dude.
It's 1-1.
08, 2016.
Sam, in what year were the Cubs established as a National League ball club? A, 1876, B, 1888, C, 1900, or D, 1901?
I hate these questions, man. 1901.
That's incorrect. 1876 is the right answer. It's 1-1 right now, but Daniel can take the lead after this question. What is the Cubs' single season record for wins? Is it A, 103, B, 110, C, 114, or D, 116?
D, 116.
That's correct. Daniel leads 2-1 after two rounds.
In 1906, by the way.
Okay,
he's got the book. He's studying the book that you're reading out of. You guys share the book.
This isn't from the book this time. This isn't from the book, man.
Go Cubs.
Oh boy.
All right, round 3. Sam.
Yes.
This Cubs manager holds the highest win percentage in team history. Is it A, Joe Madden, B, Cap Anson, C, Frank Chance, or D, Jim Fry?
I'm just going to go with Joe Madden.
That's incorrect. I got to, let me just hold on. Let me keep
I don't
score
know
here
the
on
other
my
guys'
notepad.
the success. I know Leo DeRocher was the manager in 69. Zimmer was 89.
Daniel could take a 3-1 lead here. The answer was Frank Chance.
And when was he the manager?
A long time ago.
So Anson was first, and then Chance took over. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Who holds the single season record
Frank
for
Chance.
doubles? Daniel with 57. Is it A, Mark Grace, B, Billy Herman, C, Derek Lee, or D, Rogers Hornsby?
Derek Lee?
That's incorrect. It was Billy Herman. So right now it's 2-1 Daniel after 3 rounds.
I don't know who Billy Herman is, man.
Number 7, seventh question here. This is for Sam. Who holds the single season record for OPS at 1177? A, Hack Wilson, B, Sammy Sosa, C, Ernie Banks, or D, Chris Bryant?
Single season record for OPS. Can I get my choices again?
Hack Wilson, Sammy Sosa, Ernie Banks, or Chris Bryant?
I'm going to say, I think it was 1930. I think it was Hack Wilson.
That's correct. It's 2-2. Daniel could take a lead here after round 4, or it could be tied. Daniel, who holds the career record for strikeouts per 9 innings? A, Jake Arrieta, B, Carlos Marmol, C, Kerry Wood, or D, Lee Smith?
Can I
repeat that one more time?
Yeah.
Who holds the career record for strikeouts per 9 innings? Jake Arrieta, Carlos Marmol, Kerry Wood, or Lee Smith?
In a season or in their career?
No, career. They're moving to career records now.
Okay.
I mean, Kerry Wood wouldn't be it. Or maybe he would, but he got injured. Who are the first 2 guys?
Besides two are Jake Arrieta and Carlos Marmol.
Yeah, Arrieta, yeah.
It's Carlos Marmol, actually.
Really?
Actually, I knew that
Pretty
one.
Crazy. All right, Sam. Who holds the career record for walks and hits per inning pitch? So career record for whip. Jake Arrieta, Fergie Jenkins, Greg Maddux, or Mordecai Three-Finger Brown? Career record for whip.
So with Maddux, it would just be as a Cub, right?
That's true.
Am I asking? It wouldn't be him because he came back and got lit up his last couple years. So it's Jake Arrieta. What were the other choices? Maddox, Mordecai, Three Finger Brown, and who?
Fergie Jenkins.
It's a 50-50. I'll go with Fergie.
It's Mordecai.
All right. I don't know who that is, dude.
Mordecai Three Finger Brown, man.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so we're tied right now. And Daniel could walk it off right here. Daniel could walk it off right here.
I know who Mordecai Three Finger Brown is, but I don't have his stats memorized.
Season record for sack flies with 14. Sean Dunston, Sammy Sosa, Ron Santo, or Cody Bellinger?
Sean Dustin.
Ron Santo. They were all the top 4, by the way. Santa with 14, Bellinger 13, Sosa 12, or Dunston with 11.
Yeah,
I thought it was I thought it was Bellinger. So all
right, so if you know this answer, you say your name to try to answer it first. This is going to break the tie. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was Wrigley Field's name before it was Wrigley Field?
Oh, Daniel.
Weegham
Field or Park.
That's correct, and Daniel wins.
Wait, what was it called?
Weeghman Park.
What did he said? Weegham.
No, we have to replay the tape.
I don't think I pronounced it right.
I mean, I will give it. We'll give him game 7. We'll give him the win.
Well, he clocked in first, but he mispronounced it wrong.
That's all right.
He mispronounced it, rather.
I think he gets the win.
Okay. Oh, man, that was a great trivia battle. Daniel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on again. It's been awesome.
Thank you for coming on, Daniel.
Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs. You give us 20 to 30 minutes, and we'll give you all things Cubs. The laugh or two along the way, or sometimes 32 minutes. This has been a little bit of a longer program. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube, smash the like button for the algorithm, and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcast. For Daniel, for Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
Go Cubs.